go into the definition of the what is IP address, we can start with a simple example that will make you understand more clearly what is IP address. So we can we can imagine that every device is on the internet as a house. So what are the devices that we can know internet by using the internet? We know that mobile phone, computer, PC and tablet and laptop, any other things. So we can imagine that for our phone as a house. So for you to send a letter to a friend living in one house, one of these house, so one of we can see that we consider a internet devices as a house. So we think that we need to send a letter to one of these house, like we have to send a letter to one of these devices like mobile phone, laptop, anything. So we need the home address. We know that when we are writing on the post the letter, we need to write the from and to. So we need two address to whom we had to send the letter. So that is made by the home address. So same like that in the digital world, that is in the virtual world, this home address is called as IP, which is Internet Protocol Address. So it is the unique string of numbers separated by the periods like IPv4 or colons IPv6. So that identify each device is connected to the internet or a local network. So which means it is simple like we have when we have to writing when we will write a letter, we have to write a from address and to address. So there will be a from and a to address. There it will be unique, nobody have the same addresses. So if I'm sending from my address, that is to if my friend address, that is where also to where I want to send, and from address is mine where I'm giving. So there will be a unique address. So same as that in all the internet connected devices have a addresses. So our address same as our address, house address, it is called the devices in the internet which is connected devices address is called IP address. So we can go to the definition. So an IP address or an internet protocol is a unique string of numbers which is assigned to each devices connected to the computer network that uses internet protocol for communication. It serves as the identifier that allows devices to send and receive data over the network, ensuring that this data reaches the correct destination. So I hope you understand that same principle as when we are sending the post a letter in the post service and reaching to the receiver. When we want to communicate, so we will write a letter. In the front of the letter we will write where we had to send and where it is coming, that is from address and to address. So to address means where the receiver's address, so it will be unique, and the from address is ours address, also it will be unique. Both receiver and the sender do not have the same address. So by using that IP address, the postman will send the letter to the correct location by knowing if it is from India, Kerala, where it is from. By looking at the address, they will identify which place it is, which district, which city, which village. They will identify by looking that. So same as in internet, the post office working as an internet protocol, that is the rule that to communicate, that is which is called IP address. So it serves as an identifier which allow the devices to send and receive the data over the network. So I suppose we can send from we will receive the letter from the receiver side, also from our friends, also we can send the letter to our friends. So ensuring that this data reaches in the correct destination. So by using the IP address, we can when we are giving our address, we know that it will reach a perfect address. Like that also in IP address, it will ensure that the data reaches as a correct destination. So here we can see the example, just a picture. So here we can see some digits with by separating with dot. So these numbers by the four digits separated by 4 dots. So 9192.168.0.5, it is a mobile device IP address. We can see that here it's a letter where we are sending to the two. From this is the sender side and this is the receiver where we have to send the letter. So here we can see 84175934. There are so many devices that is connected. So the IP address will ensure which is the destination IP address, and this will send to the correct point. It will not send to this device. So we can see the device IP address is 172.16.254.1. So it is not same. So it is only sending from this sender to the receiver were according to the IP address. And same as this sender also want to send to this IP address, so it will send it to the where the IP address, which device it have the same IP address. So this is what the same as the post service working. So it is working like this only, the IP address. So here we can see how it's work. The IP address are used to route the data packet to the intended destination. So as I told, we have to send the data communication to one place to another place. So IP address will route that, which will show the path where the data to be sent in intended to reach a destination. And when a computer sends a message, it includes its own IP address and recipient IP address. The IP address allow the recipient to reply the message, which means that IP address also allow the recipient to send the reply also what we sent at the communication message. So here we can see some type of IP address, that is private IP address and public IP address. So this I will discuss in another video. If you want to know about private IP address, public IP address, you can comment. So in simply we can say the private IP address means our private devices like our mobile phone, tab, laptop, PC. So it have a private IP address. So public IP address means the publicly available that most of the people are using. That is one of the public Wi-Fi. So this public Wi-Fi is connected by these all devices. So it is means publicly available IP address is called public IP address. So private means our personal things, devices, IP address. Now we can look what are the types of the IP address are there. So IP address can be classified in several ways based on the structure, purposes and the type of the network they are used in. So here we can see the classification of the IP address. So there are basically three types of IP address we can say. That is based on addressing scheme, which is we are going to discuss is IPv4 and IPv6. Next is based on the usage. As I told in the last picture, that is public, which this picture is shown the private IP address and public IP address, and based on the assessment method, that is static and dynamic. So these are the different type of IP address.